Hello Sagittarius Sun sign and Sagittarius rising sign. This is your forecast for March 2016. And this month you have a lot of activity in your fourth house. So the fourth house is the house of home and family. And the sayings, there's no place like home, or home is where the heart is, certainly applies to you this month, more so than it usually does. Sagittarius is typically a sign that likes to get out of the house and just go explore the world. But this month, there's more of a almost introspective or even introverted side to you that comes out. So there can be a desire to spend quality time or more quality time with your family, whether it's immediate or distant. There's a need or desire to connect with them. There could just be a desire to enjoy the comforts of your home. There could even be working on a project from home or on your home. The big thing about the fourth house is it's the house of motherhood, okay? And so this month you've got the Sun and Neptune there, an asteroid known as Chiron. You've also got ultimately Mercury and Venus going into the fourth house. And so this is about nurturing yourself and nurturing your emotions, being good to yourself first and foremost, and being determined to be a good friend to yourself instead of being critical of yourself. So in this world that we live in, it's really easy to be acutely aware of how you could be better or how you're flawed, but you might not always take the time to realize how you're unique and how you're talented and what you have to offer. So take stock of your unique talents and just really bless yourself. In a sense, just really appreciate yourself, admire yourself, and if there is anything that's been upsetting you on an emotional level, this is a good time to just face those things and try to heal them within yourself, okay? Now, the first week of March starts out a little tricky due to some challenging aspects. Saturn's making a square to your Sun, Mars is making a square to Mercury. And okay, so just taking them one by one, Saturn square the Sun can indicate that you feel fearful. That's the emotion that you really have to deal with, at least this first week of March. You can really feel paralyzed in a sense by just not feeling like you can accomplish what you want to accomplish, so you can doubt yourself. So there's really just a need to deal with those fears instead of repressing them, and to really again be there for yourself and deal with that fear in a logical manner instead of just like feeling it and not approaching it, not addressing it. This is about, okay, I hear you, but here's what I'm going to do to make sure that those things don't happen. Okay, now the Mercury square Mars. So this is a tricky one because it can indicate defensiveness. You're irritable, you're impatient with your family. So be careful with that one. Again, this is just a 1 week aspect, so to speak. You might fill it into the second week, but it's just going to indicate that they can push your buttons and you can say things that you really don't mean because your anger just rises to the surface and might even startle you with how angry something made you. So take a deep breath, think about what you mean to say and say that, but don't go overboard with this energy. Now, Mars goes into Sagittarius March 5th, and that's into your first house, and Mars is the natural ruler of the first house. So the first house is all about you. It's all about what you want and what you need. So Mars in the first house, the way that I think of this is it's time to stop thinking, time to start doing. So if you've been a perfectionist with a plan, it's just time to get it going and just see how things develop. Don't feel like you have to have the perfect plan before you take action. Another thing that this energy can indicate is that you're fearful. You're fearful of launching a plan. And this is a Mars in the first house. Boy, if anything symbolizes courage, this is it. So think of fear as giving you the opportunity to be courageous. So face your fears and once again, get started. This is a great time for physical fitness, getting started or ramping up the intensity of what you're doing as well. Okay, so there's a new moon March 8th. Guess where? Yes, your 4th house of home and family. So that's a day where really there can be a positive connection with your family. So spending quality time with them around this date or on this date is ideal. It can also be where honestly you have some keen insights into your own belief systems that can stem back from something that happened to you as a child. You have to be consciously looking for this, but this can be a day or a few days around this. Once again, it can be where you can have some penetrating insights into what your fears are. Like, that's why I'm scared of public speaking, because this happened to me, or whatever your particular fear is. Okay, now on March 19th, the sun goes into Aries. Aries is a fellow fire sign like Sagittarius in the 5th house. This is awesome. So hopefully prior to this, you have been working on yourself, nurturing yourself, healing yourself, approving of yourself. The sun in the 5th house is a time to be a bit more lighthearted, playful. Allow yourself to get out there and have some fun and explore. Okay. Now, finally, Saturn goes retrograde March 25th through August 13th, and it's in your 1st house. This is very significant. So wherever Saturn is in a birth chart by transit, it tells me an area where you need to be stronger, where you need to pay attention and focus more. So in the 1st house, it can mean a few things. First of all, it can indicate that your life path itself is something that needs to be reviewed. Are you in a career for the financial security, but yet it's not really what you want? This is a time to really face those fears and give yourself permission to go do the things that are deeply meaningful for you, even if you're just taking baby steps. The big thing with the 1st house is dealing with fear. And again, I've already said that. You've got fear issues this month to a certain degree, and going retrograde in your 1st house, it's about really developing a strong faith and confidence in yourself, and that life is going to be okay for you and even excellent. Sagittarius is a gifted sign on a manifestation level, in my opinion, because you guys tend to have this wonderful ability to just naturally be positive. And with Saturn in the 1st house, that might not be as true, but it's still there. So Saturn just makes you question things more and makes you more cautious. But ultimately, face those fears. It's definitely going to heal you. It's gonna, in a sense, it proves some obstacles, or it puts some obstacles there for you that once you overcome them, you're like, wow, I did that. And you're able to really, really approve of yourself. Okay, so with that being said, I hope you have a great month, and I'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.